Welcome back to the Racing Mind video series, where we journey deeper into the human mind than anyone has ever gone before. In this video series, we untangle the ancient mystery of mental illness and teach you what you need to know before your racing mind gets the best of you. This groundbreaking series provides answers to some of the deepest mysteries of the human mind and reveals, for the first time in history, the precise cause of mental and emotional illness and the psychophysiological basis of a wide range of psychiatric disorders and associated medical conditions. These educational videos, which present concepts that are so new that they are just beginning to make their way through the medical field, are based on thousands of hours of direct patient analysis and clinical observation in conjunction with the latest research on psychiatric disorders from around the world. In this segment of the series, we will discuss neuronal hyperexcitability in relation to bipolar disorders. Also known as bipolar spectrum disorder, the bipolar disorders include bipolar 1 disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, cyclothymic disorder, and cyclic depression. In bipolar 1 disorder, the changes in mood, anxiety, irritability, and other symptoms are obvious and dramatic. In bipolar 2 disorder, the cycles tend to be more frequent and of lesser amplitude than in bipolar 1 disorder, but the phenomenology is the same. In cyclothymic disorder, the cycles are even more rapid and of still smaller amplitude. In some cases, known as cyclic depression, and in another form, known as persistent depressive disorder, the cycles are almost exclusively confined to the depressive range. The subtlety of the cycles in cyclothymia and the persistence of varying degrees of low mood in cyclic depression and persistent depressive disorders often cause them to be misdiagnosed as unipolar depressive disorders. The cardinal feature of bipolar spectrum disorders is not the mood changes that may occur, but the cyclic oscillation of symptoms. Besides mood, these oscillating symptoms may include waves of energy, waves of motivation, waves of anxiety, waves of irritability, changes in concentration, and changes in sleep. What creates the cycling of symptoms is that the locus of hyperactivity tends to migrate from one circuit loop to another like a wandering tornado. The nature of the symptoms that this produces depends on which circuits in the brain are the most hyperactive at any point in time. The duration of the cycles may be long or short, depending on the excitability of the system and the degree of connectedness of the neurons. The more intricately connected the neurons are, the more rapidly a person is inclined to cycle. Some persons have small, rapid cycles amidst larger cycles of longer duration, known as cycles within cycles. Also, more than one circuit loop can be hyperactive at the same time, thus explaining how persons with bipolar spectrum disorder can experience more than one symptom, or even conflicting symptoms, such as depression and excitement, at the same time. Then again, many persons with disorders in the bipolar spectrum are unaware that their emotional system is cycling. Not having had any other brain than their own, what they experience feels natural and normal. In addition, all of us have a tendency to rationalize our feelings. Hence, it would be unnatural to assume that the brain were creating or amplifying an emotion, particularly when an identifiable environmental trigger really exists. In such cases, it can be completely impossible to distinguish how much of the fear, worry, excitement, or other emotion that one is experiencing is environmentally based versus how much is brain-based. What's more, brain-based feelings of excitement and euphoria can be very difficult to give up, thus explaining why persons with bipolar spectrum disorders either refuse treatment or fail to comply with treatment. For such persons, taking brain-regulating medication would be tantamount to abstaining from addictive drugs. Not drugs from a dealer, but drugs from his or her own brain. When medication is considered, many such persons want to be rid of their depressive phases but retain their manic phases. The problem is that depression and mania are two sides of the same coin. That is, both are caused by the same tornado in the brain. What distinguishes one emotional state from another is the location of the tornado. If it is whirling in depression-related circuit loops, the primary symptom will be depression. If it is whirling in pleasure-related circuit loops, the primary symptom will be mania. If it is whirling in anxiety-related circuit loops, the primary symptom will be anxiety. Because the tornado can move at any time, one emotional state can rapidly meld into another. From this, it should be evident that the depressive phases cannot be eliminated without also eliminating the manic phases. The reason that stimulatory type drugs such as caffeine, amphetamines, and antidepressants tend to exacerbate the symptoms of disorders in the bipolar spectrum is that they stimulate the brain, which then increases the risk of developing circuit-specific hyperactivity. The most effective natural ways to manage bipolar spectrum disorder include stress reduction, establishment of an early sleep schedule, regular exercise, enjoying a relaxing hobby, avoidance of caffeine and other psychostimulants, and minimization of refined sugar. If these interventions are either too difficult to implement or fail to yield satisfactory improvement, then treatment with anticonvulsants and other brain-calming medications may be necessary, particularly during high-stress periods in the person's life. In addition, cognitive behavioral and other forms of psychotherapy may be needed to reduce the mental tension that adds fuel to the smoldering embers in the hyperexcitable brain. Control your brain, control your life. We hope that you are benefiting from this video series. Portions of the video and others in this series were taken from the books The Racing Mind and Am I Depressed or Am I Bipolar? Those interested in developing a deeper understanding of the topic can also refer to the scientific publication The Multi-Circuit Neuronal Hyperexcitability Hypothesis of Psychiatric Disorders. Please note that these materials in this video series are for educational purposes only and are not intended to guide treatment without formal evaluation. This video series is sponsored by the Binder Foundation, a charitable organization that is dedicated to the enhancement of human life through research and education on disorders of the mind, body, and spirit. If you have found this video to be a benefit to you, please share it with your family and friends. And please don't forget, your feedback is important to us.